So my project, I had originally focused on carrying groceries, but later developed prototypes that were more focused on just carrying bagged goods. So that's the general gist of the types of problems I was attempting to solve. Given that I was carrying groceries or bagged goods, I had a lot of observational opportunities, and also did a number of interviews to discern needs and latent needs. And something that I had found through talking and watching a lot of folks were three rough types of user segments. The young independents who are just trying to carry whatever they've got in their headphones and everything, they're pretty distracted. The 30-somethings, male or female, they might have a baby though to try to carry while trying to get into their car or their house. And then there are the aging adults. They're skewed a bit more female, 60 plus years old. They're largely still independent, though there's some foreshadowing of issues that are coming down the road, so to say. And that's where I chose to focus. I'm having, over the past 10 years or so, developed a number of a collection of baby boomer friends, so to say. They're an interesting bunch. And I met these folks, and they're my target market. These are husband and wife, and they were carrying, she was carrying kind of a small pallet of water because I asked her why, and she said, because my hands, I can't carry the weight of the bags anymore. So he does it, is what she said. So she pointed to him, and he's carrying the bags on his fingers. But what happens if something happens to him? Now she's half a family. She has half the strength, possibly even half the income. And so she's still someone who is striving for independence, but she needs help to get that done. She may not have the financial means to to always have Instacart, or even the technical ability to use Instacart or Peapod, for example. May not have kids in the house anymore. They probably moved out. And so this is for whom I was building something. Collated a number of different needs. The most common were along these lines. The worst part is the weight. Nearly everybody said the worst part was weight, or perception of weight. Difficulty with hands, perhaps arthritis and carpal tunnel, for example. Some folks were just anti-carts. An older woman said, I'm not using a cart because older women use those. So, okay, we'll work with that. Or people of all ages having difficulty putting bags down and everything spills out. And so putting this into a user needs list, developed this sort of criteria roughly of what to aim and where to aim. And these are some of the concepts generated. Scanning or surveying from different types of bags, bags on the front of the body, back of the body, saddlebags on either end, like cutting off the circulation in your neck, carrot, all sorts of different things, like octopus thing, claws, even business models. Maybe there's a cooperative model where we can empower the neighborhood to help feed the elderly and get groceries and stuff like that. Due to some of the complexities on, like, say, business model and nonprofit side, I went with looking at 5 different physical prototypes. These were one of the most easily constructed was a padded carabiner with shoulder strap. Small carabiner with some yoga mat cut up and wrapped around it to help ease the tension on the hand, and a shoulder strap that I grabbed off my briefcase. So the shoulder strap worked fine. Folks have used carabiners out in the wild to help latch bags together. That works. It's okay. It takes a little bit to get the bag clipped on it. You see I had some issues there. But once you get everything attached, just hoist it up on your shoulder and go. Fairly cheap. Not perfect though. I looked at some cart options, even though folks didn't want to use carts all the time. Happened to be in an airport and seeing folks carrying backpacks that these folks really shouldn't have been carrying backpacks, not quite able to get the weight lower down onto a collapsible platform with rolly wheels, can turn any sort of bag into a rollable feature. The idea being that this could collapse down, will have a bit of a pivot hinge I do a sample breakdown here, telescoping down, and then at the hinge, folding flat with a nylon strap to minimize the rigid points. That was a first cart. A second cart, which through the speed crit stuff had gotten more favorable reviews, was a rolling tripod using the little Lego wheels from a previous project. Built a tripod that can fold flat and has an arm here with notches to help lay on more and more bags. Here's an example of it carrying some load and then breaking apart. Ideally, the bamboo would be also a telescoping feature to help maybe get the form factor down to the point you could stuff it into a locker or into a backpack. I also developed two handheld things, kind of like the carabiner idea, but more expanded. One was calling it the Octakitten, with 8 different carrying features, kind of the cutesy little ear things for maybe attaching a shoulder strap, perhaps. I've got some positive enjoyment out of that. And for time, I also developed something I was calling Mr. Muscles and then Mr. Grocery. And this prototype had got some initially good traction, and that's what I chose to develop further. He did break right along his cranium there, so I had to do some work to strengthen and to also gender balance Mr. Grocery. So we now have Mr. and Miss Goods, the Good family. They're not married; they're brother and sister, and so they're both physically fit. They have features that for smaller hand folks can insert their hand, get the weight up onto the wrist, have different notches where the muscles are to help balance different bags and the straps on those bags, as well as small eyelets in the hand position to attach shoulder straps. Here is Mr. and Miss Goods. This is acrylic, 2 pieces of acrylic for strength, for rigidity, laser cut. With some nice etching and customizable to help pull out the emotional connection with the product, so to help increase the likelihood that somebody would remember to take this tool. It could be packed into like a backpack or purse, perhaps. As an add-on to this is a shoulder strap. This is not as pretty, but we can put on shoulder strap. Show you with bags so it looks real. One thing I do not like is room for future improvement is the clipping mechanism for these shoulder straps. It takes a little bit of thought to do. I don't quite like that, but we can fix that. I have something so hand-holdable, just fine. If it's a heavy package, you can move it toward the center. You can hold one bag, but just looping it around her neck. No problem there. Something during the speed crit that came up was, what about having the bag, the weight up against your hip when you're walking, that swaying? I added this as a pad that actually keeps the arm out, away, more easily away from the body. So I feel that this has addressed a number of the needs on the list. There is room for improvement. Hopefully, this is a product that can help bring the independence back to this woman, whether he's here or not, or that the roles have switched, that everybody can continue to feel their independence as they get into ailments or older age. Thank you.